Jersey Mike just sold for $8 billion.
Yeah. So Blackstone took a majority stake for $8 billion. The founder started it at 17 with a single sandwich shop.
Yep.
And grew it. He went through some struggles in 91, it sounds like, and then created the franchise model. Typically, when private equity firms take over restaurants, this is the playbook. They cheapen the ingredients, they increase gross margin, extract profit, and the food's less quality. He thinks they're going to invest in technology and help the big franchisors, which is him.
Yeah.
And basically help them grow and weed out the one-off, two-off Jersey Mike's franchisees. So he's bullish on it.
Jersey Mike's great. Jimmy John's great. I love both. I'm a big fan of both sandwiches. And it's interesting like that it got sold for this much because Subway's just going through the other opposite, which is just like struggling and not relevant.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, group chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
All right, Kathys, we're here. It is Thanksgiving week, Black Friday. I know a lot of people, a lot of Kathys out there working retail, working e-commerce. It is a big, big week for the entire industry. And it's a big week for travel. As always, every Thanksgiving, people are expecting record travel. People are leaving out of town and getting on planes, driving in cars, expecting mega weekend. What's interesting, though, is...
Including drama.
He's out.
He was on a plane.
He was on a plane. Undisclosed location. What's really interesting about the Thanksgiving situation, so I was with a lot of retailers the last, call it 2-3 weeks, and retailers and brands have all told me that holiday sales are very strong. And so it's exciting to see that we should see some pretty strong numbers for the holidays. Target came out and shared some pretty bad numbers, but I do think that's a Target issue. I was actually at Target over the weekend. We had to get someone a birthday gift. And, I looked at the apparel section at Target and they make, by the way, frankly, incredible place to shop if you're looking for great clothes, but it's expensive. It's not the same value you get at Walmart or TJ Maxx or Ross or Burlington. And so I see why Target's struggling, because they did such a good job of curating great brands, good products. And then we enter this era where price is everything. And they, in some categories like grocery, I think they're very competitive, and probably some consumer staples, but in apparel, they feel expensive. Jackets for $35, $40, t-shirts for $15. That's not what's happening at Walmart. Walmart, it's half the price.
So we all know that Target missed earnings pretty big. The stock was down 21% on the day after earnings. And the CEO tried to blame it on the port strikes.
Yeah.
And then people did deep dives on the internet and saying they had the exact same number of containers year over year.
Yeah.
And your inventory glut is because you couldn't sell.
Yeah. What happened was Walmart reported a few days later and absolutely crushed.
Yeah. So they're trying to create a story. So it's clearly a Target problem. And you're saying it's because of price on the apparel side.
I just noticed apparel. I saw a jacket, a men's jacket. I was like, wow, that's a great jacket. I looked at it, it was $35. That's not cheap enough.
No.
Not in the Shein, Temu era. $35 for a jacket. Unless if you're buying a name brand, you might spend $200 on a jacket. But if it's not a name brand.
So I don't shop a ton. And I was at the Grove today and I went to the Nike store. A running jacket that you would wear, because now it's actually cooler temperatures, It's $110.
Nobody who runs wears a running jacket. That's the first problem.
So what are they wearing?
You're wearing maybe a long sleeve shirt or a hoodie, but like those jackets are so stupid. I think all brands who do it.
I can't believe it's $110. And I wanted to get something because I like to run outside. And I was like, oh, it's good material. And I looked, it was $110. I walked out.
Yeah, and the problem is
because you're sweating in it. It's not like I'm going out in it.
You have to wash it. My view is just freeze to death in a t-shirt. Like I run in New York in the winter. I'm freezing. But I'm just like, fuck it. I'd rather freeze to death than wear a jacket or a sweatshirt that I have to wash. So I do think, look, I think certain brands have lost favor with the consumer. Nike is one of them.
Yeah, because even the consumer or the guy on the floor that was trying to sell me, I was asking him, he's like, oh, this is our Lululemon competitor. I was like, why are you mentioning Lululemon?
Yeah.
I'll go to Lululemon.
Yeah. That's bad. Because like they're not even in the same planet. It's Nike, for God's sake. Act like you're Nike.
Yeah.
They've lost their way.
But that was weird that he even that he thought that's how he's going to convince me to buy.
Yeah. Well, he's at the Grove. He's in West Hollywood, and he's like, we don't have the Travis Scott shoes here, which is the one thing that everyone wants from Nike.
But there's an Aloe there.
Yeah, and Aloe's probably crushes. I bet you that Aloe store, which is half the size of Nike's, does the same business.
I would say it's 25% the size. Nike's 3 floors.
Oh, okay. Then I don't know how big the Aloe store is.
Aloe's 2 stories, but way...
Okay, so then they're not doing... Per square foot, they're probably way more productive than the Nike store.
Mm-hmm.
That location is still very touristy, so like I'm sure that Nike store does bonkers numbers. But Nike's not... Here's what I think about retail this holiday season. If you're not giving the consumer something they must have, they are not spending money with you. And I think the luxury brands, if you saw something like... It's like one of the worst Christmases ever expected for luxury brands. I would argue that that's the brand's fault. You didn't give them something to buy. You're selling the same shit. You got to give energy. You got to give people are, I don't care what anyone says. People are spending money.
Yeah.
Lots of money. Like I guarantee you hotels and airfare are record high.
I guarantee you Grove will comp year over year up. I left around 12:30, 12:40. I got there at 9:45 and it was a complete zoo.
Yeah.
And it's not, and the Christmas tree's not lit and there's no Santa.
Yeah. That's in 2 days. The Christmas tree lights tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Santa starts, I think, Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah. And
So-
it was a zoo.
Once that happens, it's a wrap. It's like rocket ship. So yeah, I agree. I think from what I've heard, that brands are expecting a very solid holiday.
Yep.
I mean, look, I was in Bentonville for 3 days. No one in Bentonville is sweating Christmas. And they are America.
And Target's in Minneapolis. So what are they sweating?
It's bad merchandising. I
think it's just they didn't curate the right products?
I think it's the right product. And I think
So what's different in the product of Walmart?
It's price. It's price.
No, obviously it's price, but
that's everything.
why can't Target source the same price product?
Target's always been, when the economy is strong and people are spending crazy money, you're less price sensitive on these other like discretionary items like apparel or whatever it may be, beauty products, things like that. Right now, consumers very sensitive. So like if I can get, a pair of jeans for $15 versus $25, you're doing it. That's a huge delta. And I think when you look, and I'm only paying attention in this last day at Target at apparel. It didn't feel promotional. It said, this is the price. They didn't even the method of marketing. When you walk into Walmart, the prices are falling. They literally have things falling from the sky.
Right.
Prices are falling. Makes me feel like I should be buying now before it's gone. I'm not getting that energy at Target right now. When I walk into Target, I'm seeing everything feels like full price. What are you trying to prove?
Right.
I'm on email lists for like 100 brands. Everyone is on sale. Deep discount. Target CEO came out and said, we're going to get aggressive for Christmas. We're going to drop prices. And I think that piece is extremely important to like to reconcile with. Like if you don't drop the prices, like a lot of brand owners always feel like I can't drop price. My brand is special. Unless you're Chanel, Vuitton, Hermes, it doesn't fucking matter. I'm sorry. It just doesn't.
Yeah, I'm getting spammed ads. James Purse, which is a brand I love, 70% off.
They're permanent 70 off. You can get it at somewhere all the time, 70 off. And by the way,
The problem is sizing. Because I went and I looked on the site and it's like 2XL,
walk
XL.
in the store.
The store's not on sale. I walked into the Beverly Hills one. Maybe other stores.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. They have an outlet somewhere. I know they do have an outlet. You just have to like, whatever, just be like, I want a discount.
You think you can negotiate like
100%.
that? In consumer retail.
I've done it.
Really?
Yes. I did it once at Macy's. Macy's.
You said I need 20% off. Don't they make you sign up for a credit card or something?
No. I was like, you don't got no sale? And she's like, no, next weekend, friends and family. I'm like, what is that, a code? And she's like, yeah, something like that. I'm like, apply it right now. She goes, buy something else. I go, fine. I bought something else. And literally in Macy's, in like, maybe Atlanta, somewhere. I don't know where I was, some random city. And I needed like some dressier clothes to go.
Can you name a brand in the next week for Black Friday that won't have a Black Friday sale? Because they're so hot.
So hot.
Because some are, right?
Yeah. But even the hottest brands are still running a sale. I mean, like, what is Hermes doing for Black Friday?
Nothing. Is Aloe?
Spitting in your face. Aloe, yeah. Aloe launched their Black Friday sale 3 weeks ago.
Right.
3 weeks ago, I got served ad. Friends and family. I'm not friend and I'm not family.
I'm a friend.
Okay. Well, then you didn't even know. I'm not neither. And I got served an ad. So yeah, Aloe.
I will say, so I went to Nike and then I went to Aloe for I didn't buy anything, but I looked at everything and tried a few things on. Aloe's much better than Nike.
Product wise. Yeah. It's more wearable.
And you don't even feel like you need to wear it to work out. You could just wear it.
It's casual lifestyle. Yeah. The problem is Nike is like in a time warp from an aesthetic style. Like, who wears this stuff now?
Yeah, no, it was very obvious. I was actually shocked because I'm biased to Nike because that's what I grown up on. Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
All this stuff. And I went to Nike wanting to buy something.
You can't.
And I didn't.
Go look at On Cloud and Hoka. They're so fucking good. Like I literally want like half the store when I walk into those brands.
Yeah.
Like I literally was like, damn, I want this stuff. I don't feel that about Nike. The only Nike thing that I ever see, I was like, oh, I would wear some Travis Scotts and I have some of that stuff. But like,
I even think how they merchandise a store is bad.
Yeah.
You walk in and it's not the stuff you actually want to buy. So they make you go up to the second floor. That's the opposite what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
The first floor is like, if you go to any high-end store, women's is first floor.
Yeah.
Because that's who's buying.
If I was Nike, I'd have women's and kids first floor.
And then everyone buy.
Yeah. But like, and it's like, I don't know. When I walk in that store, there's zero things I want.
Even the Nike USC stuff, the Dodgers stuff, the Lakers stuff. I would buy Lakers stuff if it was good. Yeah. I looked at it, I was like, this is whack.
Yeah. And the problem in sports, like there's so many brands that do an incredible job. It's really, really tough. And like, look, I think the new CEO coming in is actually going to fix the brand. I'm actually very bullish on the future of Nike. I think the next year is going to be tough because it takes, these guys work so far ahead that like they're going to have to figure it out, but they need like energy bad. I mean, Travis Scott is it.
I didn't see anything Travis Scott.
No, of course, because it's not available.
Right.
It's available on his site or Sneakers app for 5 seconds. So like, that is it. Like that is the energy of the brand is Travis Scott. And it doesn't exist for average people. Like average person does not get to buy anything Travis Scott.
And the number of people I've seen since the Dodgers World Series that I'm wearing a Dodgers hat right now. Shout out to Shane.
Yeah.
And I looked at the Dodgers merchandise.
Yeah.
It sucked.
Yeah. They've lost their way. And like, by the way, there's a lot of brands like the Gap came out, fucking crushed revenue, crushed earnings. The Gap came and fixed their business and is booming.
What do you think they fixed?
The merchandising, it's product. At the end of
Like Abercrombie did.
Abercrombie nailed product. Gap nailed product and collaborations. They did Mad Happy. They did Doen. They did, Palace. They've done Yeezy. They've done like things to get people back in their stores. And, like if you look at Nike, their athletic brand, who do they have? They got Patty?
No. And John Morant, I think, is on like a hiatus. They have Kyrie, who they don't.
No,
I think
Kyrie's
they cut.
Anta.
Yeah, they.
No,
cut
Kyrie's
him.
Anta. And by the way, that shoe's popping.
Kyrie's a big star.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, they don't have.
They have LeBron. That's it.
They have LeBron. And
they
I don't know if you saw NBA ratings for the first quarter of the season is really bad.
I have seen that. And
So people have said that NBA ratings are like down 25% or something.
No, it's not that bad, but it's definitely down year over year. But if you compound that over the last 5 years, it's really bad.
Year over year. There's no excuse for any sport to be down.
And this is what begs the question for me. And I have mentioned this a million times. Why are the advertisers paying so much for these rights? No one's watching. It's the NFL.
Yeah, but that's rigged. Doesn't matter. The advertisers will pay. Doesn't matter. It's a package. You want the NFL? You got to buy our shitty NBA ads. That's what they do.
It's completely different.
Doesn't matter. No, it's not the same networks.
No, they just
It's NBA, NBC, it's fucking ABC. It's like the same.
So you're saying you think because the NFL is the gold mine, you have to buy a shitty Hornets game.
That's how it works. That's how everything in life works. You want to go to this game, you got to buy these shitty games. That's it. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Why do you have to buy season tickets? We all want to go to the same 6 games.
No, because I've had this conversation with many people that you have to believe that every league franchises have top ticked except for the NFL. Like the NFL is going to go up.
I disagree. I think Major League Baseball is having a mega moment.
MLS will be fine.
I think MLS is fine. I think
How was the
WNBA
game?
is fine. I think hockey could be fine. I think NFL. I literally think it's an NBA problem, and it's very simple what the problem is, in my opinion.
What's that?
I actually think it's a LeBron problem.
That he's the only person? Or
Yeah,
what?
I think as much as he's my favorite player, he is holding the league back from evolving.
So he's going to be done in a year. Okay. And he's carried the league for 20 years.
Yeah.
And so is Steph. And
He's a very polarizing figure. So put it like this. The people that voted for Trump, they ain't watching the NBA. They think it's too political. They don't like, I don't know if you saw this week. I was actually texting our friend Anthony about it. Stephen A. Smith lost it on LeBron because of the post. He posted a Rich Kleiman post about how negative this, that.
I watched this. I actually watched it live.
Yeah, I was watching it live. I was on the treadmill and I saw it and I was like, I've never seen ESPN go so hard on LeBron and especially Stephen A. Stephen A. basically said, shut up and dribble to LeBron. Like, you're here to play basketball and entertain. Why are you always talking about everything? And I think.
So I watched the whole clip and I watched it live and then I've seen all the clips. What Stephen A. was saying was, and he criticized both Kevin Durant, Rich Kleiman, and LeBron. I'm not allowed to talk about basketball.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't care what you guys do in your personal lives.
I know, but that's my point is those guys are holding the league back.
And that's what his point was. All these NBA players now have podcasts and they talk, but all they want to do is criticize the media.
Yeah.
And
they feel soft. That's the problem. They feel soft. And I think
you know what if you want to, like, the elephant in the room is these guys have made too much money that they can say whatever they want.
Yeah, that's fine. But I'm just telling you, they're the problem for the league.
I agree.
So once they're gone and it's like.
No, but it's not, because then you have Joel Embiid who doesn't want to play basketball.
That's fine.
Then he has $250 million.
Then you have
Paul George. doesn't want to play basketball. You have Kawhi Leonard. He's missed 18 games. We're 3 months into the season.
Yeah, so I think that will change. That part of the league will fix itself out.
How?
Because it's capitalism. You just won't pay these people. As soon as the team stops making money, they'll change the rules. No, we're not going to pay. You think these are the smartest people in the world? They ain't going to fucking lose money. So I think the problem with sports, particularly, like the league has always been bigger than the athletes. In all the other sports, in the NBA, the players got bigger than the league. Yeah. That will change. And
so I think the real dynamic is in the NFL, outside of, the Rodgers and Brady's. Obviously Brady's retired, but they're the ones who always can get the big contracts. The rest of the people, you have to play and you have to perform, because you get injured, you're out. You're going to get cut.
Yeah.
Like Daniel Jones, quarterback New York Giants, the biggest franchise. Yeah, and they just cut him.
Yeah.
And Saquon Barkley, he balled out tonight, but they gave him for nothing.
Yeah.
And the NFL is Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
The NBA is like, we don't care. Everyone gets their money.
Yeah. So I think that'll change. It'll happen. It'll just be capitalism. It's going to change. And it's going to make, I actually think in 5-10 years.
The NBA's biggest problem is there's no American new stars.
No, I don't think that's the problem. I don't think you realize you're not around people. People hate LeBron James.
I'm not around people.
Do you know people hate LeBron?
I know many people who do.
And they hate him for political reasons. They do not want to hear his opinion. That is a problem for the league. Not a problem for him. It is a problem for the league. And so from a sports standpoint, they have to deal with that. People literally, I know so many adults that do not watch it because of him. Literally because of him. And so that is a problem.
They're robbing themselves of great.
I agree. I love him. He's my favorite athlete ever. But I'm just telling you, I'm not blind to the fact that he is the problem. That's tough for the league because he does bring a lot of energy to the league. But the fact that the ratings are so low and he's playing well.
But you were in Detroit, which is a red state.
And the stadium was not full.
But they all scream for Bronny.
Yeah, of course. Those are basketball fans. But every seat was not full. Can you imagine? In Detroit, Lakers are in town. I literally looked at the people I was with. I'm like, do you notice this?
But Detroit's different. They don't sell out.
The Lions games are fucking sold out. Every game.
They're hot. Pistons are one of the worst teams.
I'm telling you, this is why Democrats lost, because they just don't accept this is reality. He's a polarizing figure. I'm the biggest fan of LeBron since he was 17 years old, but he's a polarizing figure. It's okay. It's fine. It doesn't matter to him. It affects the league. That's the problem.
But he also carried the league.
Yeah. And now unfortunately it's time to pass the torch. It's time to move on.
Who's he passing it to?
Not him. How about that?
Well, Shams reported, the ESPN insider who knows everything, that next year's as likely as last year. So he'll do his tour.
So I think that's good.
Goodbye tour.
That's great for the NBA.
Yeah, because he'll go to every franchise. Remember Cream?
Yeah. I remember going to his games. Yeah.
Was it late 80s? We were young. We went to one of them.
Clippers,
Lakers, and they give him a car.
Cake,
they did the whole thing.
It was great. And I think that will be blockbuster. And then I think the league just has to clamp down. You don't play, you're out of here.
That's the problem. They don't play.
Yeah. Because
I have a running joke with Anthony and our friend Jordy. We have an NBA chat, and we just tweet he's not playing again. He's not playing again.
So once they change that rule and make it impossible for you to not make money, because what part of life can you get paid that kind of money and not work? Nothing. Zero. Congressman?
Yeah, because Embiid's probably making $250 million on this contract. He probably made another 150 before.
Yeah, I'm saying,
and he doesn't play.
Yeah, exactly. So Americans are fed up with that. You got to work to get money in America.
I agree, but how's the NBA going to do it? I think it's Adam Silver's problem.
Yeah, it'll be it'll take 5 years.
I mean, I'm our mom is obsessed with the NBA, and she texts me all the time about these games. I'm like, no one's playing.
Why would you want to? By the way, why do you want to take your kids?
I'd rather watch Joe Rogan and Scott Storch.
Yeah, which I heard was blockbuster.
It was great. You got to watch it.
I'm dying to watch it because
he says a lot of good stories.
I've been around him a lot. Like in the last 15 years, I've been around him at like after hours parties and he pulls out the piano. He's so fucking talented as a musician. And then when you look at his body of work, so Scott Storch, if you're younger, in the 90s and early 2000s, listen to a rap song. Scott Storch, you did it again.
So,
He's literally is on every hot song. Dr. Dre, Fat Joe.
So on the podcast, Rogan had a piano for him.
Oh, no way.
And he said, "What's your biggest song that you've done?" And it's still DRE.
Yeah.
And he just started playing the keys. And he just did it. And he's self-taught. That's
Really?
what's crazy.
He's a genius.
He's like, my parents didn't have money to pay for piano lessons.
Yeah.
He goes, I went to one, and he goes, you're too good. Just teach yourself.
No,
His story is insane.
And by the way, great guy, like really nice. Like
That's what he said. He called himself a great guy.
He's a great guy. I agree. I've met him many times. I've hung out with him.
I actually texted David Weintraub.
Yeah.
He hasn't responded yet.
Yeah.
I was like, blast from the past.
Yeah.
Rogan and Storch.
That's good. That's good. I'm excited because
He was involved in his career.
he worked with them. But like, yeah, I mean, like he's just a good guy and like insanely talented, like so insanely talented. That was exciting to see. I hope I don't know how he's doing now, but
Seems like he's doing well.
okay, good.
Or at least well enough.
Yeah. Like he's healthy, doing well.
Yeah. He said all he does is smoke weed, doesn't do coke anymore.
Yeah.
He's cut that
Well,
out.
I've seen that. That's good, man. I'm happy for Scott Storch.
I still have 20 minutes left, but however long the episode is, it's really good.
Yeah, like
If you followed rap in the last 20 years,
yeah,
it's a great episode.
it's so good. And like you just don't realize, like, you know, music is one of those industries where like there's a lot of unsung heroes because we only see the artist.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think, and R.I.P. Quincy Jones, who just recently passed. There's the great documentary on Quincy Jones that came out a few years ago. And when you look at Quincy Jones and his body of work, you're like, oh my God, everything you listen to that you love was produced by Quincy Jones. And depending on the type of music and the era of music you grew up in, there's all these like kind of back figures that are like beloved that like don't get appreciated. So I'm glad Quincy Jones got his documentary that'll live on forever. I'm glad Scott Storch got Joe Rogan. I like it.
Yeah, he says he's got a studio in Boca Raton.
Oh, nice.
He needed to get away from Miami because it was too
He's a
toxic.
big Miami guy.
And he can pop in when he wants to, pop in, pop out. And it seems like he's doing well, to be honest.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear. He's a great guy. So what did you wanted to talk about the podcast?
Oh yeah. So thanks for everyone who shared the podcast that we recorded on Monday with Amanda, my wife, Kate and Colleen on epilepsy awareness. We got great feedback. I actually got connected with moms from the podcast that are going through the same thing that wanted to just kind of talk about the journeys and how to navigate everything. So the episode was so important. Even if like one family reached out, it's great. And multiple families reached out.
Great.
And, you know, this is like our life goal to just help people in this space. You know, we are fortunate to be able to navigate it as best as we can and hope we get the best outcome. But a lot of families can't, and we're willing to help anyone. So anyone in the epilepsy community that has kids, reach out. I'm happy to help.
That's awesome. It's good to hear. And, you know, listen to the pod and share it with a family member or friend that might be going through it.
Yeah, you'd be shocked the number of people that have epilepsy, right? 1 in 26 actually have a diagnosed epilepsy diagnosis. 1 in 10 will have a seizure. That's not an insignificant number.
Yeah, that's a big number. That's good. I'm glad you guys did it. Glad people connected with it, and it'll be great to see all the people that you guys connect with in the coming weeks.
No, it's great. No, it's really good.
All right. So I want to talk about really big news.
What's that?
Jersey Mike just sold for $8 billion.
Yeah. So Blackstone took a majority stake for $8 billion. The founder started it at 17 with a single sandwich shop.
Yep.
And grew it. He went through some struggles in 91, it sounds like, and then created the franchise model. Our good friend has 25 Jersey Mikes.
25? Oh, fuck. He's rich. I didn't
He's
get
rich.
25.
Don't you see his Instagram? You see how big the pool that his kids are swimming in?
Yeah, but I thought he had like 5. I know 25. 25 is insane. All right. Well, congrats.
I'm literally getting messages. Sorry. I'm getting messages right now. Like,
Congrats, bro. I didn't know. I wonder if you got a piece of that 8 Billy.
yeah. So the question I had to him, that typically when private equity firms take over restaurants, this is the playbook. They cheapen the ingredients, they increase gross margin, extract profit, and the food's less quality.
Okay.
So like if you went to PF Chang's today versus 20 years ago, PF Chang's 20 years ago was amazing. PF Chang's now sucks.
I don't even know if it exists.
But whenever it did exist after private equity took over, and his comment was he thinks they're going to invest in technology and help the big franchisors, which is him.
Yeah.
And basically help them grow and weed out the one-off, two-off Jersey Mike's franchisees. So he's bullish on it. I guess we bleeped out his name, so it's fine. He thinks it's a net positive.
I think it's a net positive too. I'm not worried about the ingredient issue.
Because that's what they pride themselves on. Like Jersey Mike's versus Subway, there's no question. Jersey Mike's is a better sandwich than Subway.
Yeah, and I think like given, a lot of these, I don't know how much of Subway was corporate owned versus franchise, but I think the fact that like it is franchised, and if you listen to your franchise, I think you will be pleasantly surprised on how important the franchises take the quality of the food. And I know in some cases they have absolutely no control, but I don't know. Jersey Mike's great. Jimmy John's great. I love both. I'm a big fan of both sandwiches, and it's interesting like that it got sold for this much because Subway's just going through the other opposite, which is just like struggling and not relevant. And you can make the argument that the idea of like just a sandwich is a tough business in this market when there's so much variety of what you can eat between fast food restaurants and fast casual. And I mean, Sweet Green's on absolute tear. Their business on fire. And so it's pretty cool that they found like, hey, just make a really great product and, the consumer will come. And it's even surprising they got bought for $8 billion because I don't know how much is corporate owned. They're franchised at the end of the day.
I think there's 3,000 locations, so I think the majority is franchisees.
Yeah, so like $8 billion, you're paying a crazy premium on some sort of royalty. Then I gotta look into it further. But I was like shocked to see the price tag for a franchise business.
Yeah, even if you think about where we are across the street, pretty much every business went out of business that was F&B.
Yep.
And Jersey Mike's was fine through COVID.
The funny thing is his name's not Mike.
What's his name?
Peter. So he bought Mike's sub as a 17-year-old with a $125,000 loan.
His football coach.
From his football coach.
Yep.
What kind of football team is this? Was this Friday Night Lights? What football coach got $125,000?
It's like a modern day football coach.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. So, fuck, this is great. Great story. Congrats to everyone involved. Huge. All right, moving on. What other big retail news is Olive and June, a nail business, got bought. Got bought 40 million bucks. Bought by Helen of Troy, which is a portfolio company that owns brands like Hydro Flask. They own Dry Bar, Osprey, Vicks, Oxo. These are all very, very popular, successful brands. And Olive and June, which opened its first nail salon in Beverly Hills in 2013. It's a relatively new business.
Yeah.
CEO is Sarah Gibson Tuttle and got an exit. Everyone says consumer is dead. Olive and June got $240 million.
And Blackstone bought Jersey Mike's. Consumers here.
Consumers here. That's why I'm like pretty optimistic. So I was talking to a lot of people about like the tariffs. Everyone is obviously 100% it's happening at this point. And the majority of people feel pretty optimistic. They're not worried about it.
So Ken Griffin from Citadel, who I would assume leans right.
Yeah.
He is really worried about the tariffs.
He's not.
But no, he was saying from a macro perspective.
Yeah.
And he was on CNBC saying that tariffs are basically going to make, ultimately the consumer is going to suffer because you're not going to get affordable goods and you're going to have inefficient manufacturers in America producing goods for the price that the consumer wants. And he said long term, that's going to diminish innovation.
Yep.
And this is a guy that probably donated to Trump. I don't know, but I would assume he did.
I mean, everyone did.
Yeah.
Definitely. Here's the thing about the tariffs that you don't understand, that I think the average person doesn't understand, is that if he's going to tax there, he's going to give you a break somewhere else. So whether that's a lower corporate tax rate, whether that's a lower income tax rate, it's not like I'm going to tax you on the tariff side of things and I'm going to increase taxes somewhere else. So the real answer is it's inflation. It's inflationary, and they'll give you cash somewhere else.
That was this other problem.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think if anything, they're going to give you cash somewhere else. They'll increase the goods here, the cost of goods here, and all that happens is just more inflation. That's what I really think at the end of the day happens. I actually don't think it hurts business as bad, unless in certain categories, like I've heard they'll tax like 60%. Because I know even Biden put a 100% EV tax on Chinese EVs. I mean, it should be 500%. We shouldn't allow Chinese EVs into this country. Like, I think there's certain categories we have to dead. And I'm very comfortable with, I don't want Chinese controlled EVs on our streets. I think that's fucking nuts.
So, Waymo, which you see all over the city now.
Yeah.
They just partnered with a Chinese manufacturer
For EVs.
for their Waymos.
Yeah.
Who wants to be in a Waymo if it's run by China? You say something negative on China, guess what? Your car is going off the cliff.
Yeah. They're just like, hey, where are you going? I'm going to dinner. Bye. Gone.
I mean, who would trust that?
Yeah. They're fucked. Waymo's toast.
I think that's the dumbest thing you could possibly do. That has to be American.
If Elon uses this as a marketing campaign, Waymo might be done by Friday.
He should.
Yeah.
I mean, he tweets 24/7.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't find out about this yet.
I would never get in a... After I saw that, I was like, I would never get in a Waymo. Imagine if it's like the joke, Russian oligarchs are always clumsy and fall off buildings.
Yeah.
That's going to be the Waymo joke.
Oh, where did Elon go? I don't know. He just disappeared in Waymo. Talking shit about CCP, gone.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. They're toast. Waymo's over.
Yeah, that's a really bad move.
Yeah.
And before we go to our other topics, we got to talk about crypto.
What's going on in crypto?
Because we haven't actually recorded. I haven't recorded with you.
We were all last Sunday. We were here with
Sunday, but
Papa Path.
We've gotten a little run up since.
Yeah.
So November 5th, I just looked it up. Bitcoin was at like 66K.
What do you think they caused that run up?
And now it's about to be 100K.
Why do
any
you think
day
it's
now.
at 100K? It's one reason only.
So you're talking about like a 33% return in 2 weeks. And obviously the Trump administration is very
embracing.
pro-crypto.
Hiring pro crypto.
Treasury Secretary is pro-crypto. Head of Commerce is pro-crypto.
Everyone's pro crypto. Elon's pro crypto.
Elon's pro-crypto.
JD Vance pro crypto.
I honestly think JD Vance got screwed because of Elon
Why?
in terms of prominence.
I think that's good. I think you don't politically, you want to be silent if I'm him. There's too many alphas in the room. You can't compete with Elon. 0 people can. You can't compete with DJT.
Vivek, you can't.
Vivek's on TV every morning. I turn on the TV. This fucker's on TV. Dogecoin, this, that. He's on TV all day. He's clearly been given the green light from the dawn and said, yo.
I mean, Trump even said, I can't get Elon out of here.
Yeah.
He said that in one of those speeches.
So I think like JD Vance should go in a cave, shut the fuck up, like do the sleepy game.
We haven't heard anything from him.
No, yeah, he shouldn't say a word for 3 years. 3 years. Hope the economy does not fall off a cliff, and then you could become president.
So a lot of people have asked me about crypto in the last couple weeks. People that are in it, people that aren't in it, and they would just want to understand what everyone's thinking. And I think I have a pretty good handle on what's going on. So right now, crypto, whatever, I think it's 97, 98K or something around that. Bitcoin, sorry.
I mean, like Doge is up like
Yeah.
Doge is up 42 cents. Oh my God. I think Doge is up like 300%.
Yeah, no, obviously, because he named the thing Doge. So yeah, Bitcoin's hovering around 98. It'll be 100K any day now. It flirted with it last week. So the thing people have to realize that haven't been in this industry for a long time. So you're talking about 100,000 for a full Bitcoin. You've already priced out 99.99% of the world to own a full Bitcoin if you didn't own it already.
Yeah.
Then you think about it, 4 million coins are lost. Like they're in the ocean. The hard drives.
Yeah.
You can't get access to the keys. That's 4 million coins. Then
MicroStrategy owns a shitload.
So then he knows someone that passed that probably has a 7-figure Bitcoin position.
20 coins.
And wasn't in the will.
That's gone.
And if you're on Coinbase or any of these exchanges, if you're on the other exchanges, it's gone. If you're on Coinbase, if it's in the will, like it's in my estate.
Yeah.
If I die tonight, Amanda will have access to my coins.
Yeah.
And
so there's a lot of funny business where that's going to disappear.
That's just, so you're lowering the supply to like 14 million coins.
I think that's aggressive.
Well, 4 million are officially lost.
Okay.
I'm just saying, just the people. What do you think?
I would say a little less than that. I mean, like, not a lot of people that have 100 coins. I mean, you could look it up. You can see how many people that have at least 100 coins.
Not many people.
Not many people do. So I think, yeah, look, let's say it's
$1.5 million.
16, 15 million are accountable. MicroStrategy owns, I think, most of them. Fucking El Salvador owns.
And so my point was, the only people that can buy now at these price levels are sovereigns. Sovereigns.
Well, anyone can buy, technically.
Anyone can buy. Sovereign at scale.
Yeah.
Sovereign governments and institutional investors.
Yeah.
BlackRock, JP Morgan, Goldman, Blackstone, the United States government.
Yeah.
Bhutan, which is a small country, 38% of their GDP is in Bitcoin. And El Salvador, I don't think they've announced the exact number.
They have $560 million in Bitcoin.
Which is light.
Yeah.
If Bhutan has 1.14 billion. And Bhutan's a much smaller country than El Salvador.
El Salvador's tiny though. It's tiny. El
You think
Salvador's not a
it's-
big company.
How's Bhutan a $3 billion country?
Yeah, they bought it earlier. This guy just started buying it.
So when they see people, when other countries see people doing this, they're going to follow. So outside the US dollar, there's very few safe currencies. Even if you look at think about India, the rupee, it's devalued so much. I was
It's
telling my mom,
worthless.
and she sold some property, and she's like, "Oh, they're offering 17% at the bank on
Why are they
on
doing
your
that?
rupee." And I said, "Well, it's 17% on nothing,
Yeah. It's worthless currency.
and that's every country."
Yeah.
So they're all going to start buying this. It's been solidified. This administration, the one good thing they've done for me is they've solidified.
They've done a lot of
Crypto.
good things for you. You don't even know it yet.
But the point is, it's a runaway train. And
Yeah.
I said this for the last 11 years, but it became crystallized the moment BlackRock came in.
Yeah.
Once BlackRock came in,
It was obvious. Yeah.
it was just so obvious
Yeah.
that everyone's going to follow. And there's going to be volatility.
Yeah. You're going to still get drawdowns.
Yeah, you'll get drawdown. I don't think you're going to see Bitcoin at 30K. You might see Bitcoin at 80K.
I think you could see Bitcoin at 50K.
I don't
I mean,
think so at this
It's the
point.
same thing. Like I could see Google dropping 30% from here, and that's a cash making machine because of the antitrust issue. So like there will be drawdown, but that doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything, and it never has.
Yeah.
Because there's been 90%
Yeah.
drawdowns
Yeah.
on crypto on cycles.
I could
And-
see it happening again.
The point I'm trying to make is that it's clearly been solidified as an
Not
asset.
crypto. I'm sorry. It's one thing only.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. It's
Yeah.
not crypto.
No, it's
Yeah.
Bitcoin, and I believe Ethereum, and I think
But
Ethereum.
the performance has not reflected
Agreed.
that. So
That-
you can't
the reason
you can't make that argument.
I can make
and there's
the
unlimited capacity of Ethereum.
the thing with Ethereum. The reason why it hasn't gone up as much as Bitcoin is because Solana is doing all the meme coins, and all the meme coins need Solana, and the meme coins are firing.
Yeah.
And so Solana is the meme chief officer.
Yeah.
Which
So they
is
haven't
very
found
valuable.
their cultural relevance. But even Solana and Ethereum, the finite amount of Bitcoin and the history of Bitcoin gives it the best chance long term.
It's the safest, no question.
Exactly.
It's no question the safest.
Yeah.
It's going nowhere.
Yeah. And the thing is like, I actually think there'll be other cryptocurrencies that you could make way more money in, but like it's too risky. Because
Too
you can lose it
risky?
all in 5 seconds.
You could lose it all, and then you're on MetaMask and you get swiped.
Yeah.
Because the safe place to buy crypto is Coinbase, which has really
I would say an ETF is fine too.
ETFs fine great.
Yeah.
No,
And by the
totally.
way, Robinhood's fine too, because you don't actually own the
Robinhood's
fucking
great.
coins.
You don't own
Yeah.
the coins. Those are great.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah.
But to get the
memes.
outsized returns, 1,000, 2,000x,
Yeah.
you have to be on these shitty exchanges
Where
buying
you can get hacked.
on MetaMask, and you can get hacked.
Yeah.
And you'll think you're worth a lot of money. And then the last thing I wanted to say was gold is a $17.2 trillion asset class. Bitcoin right now is probably 1.8, debating on the price. But in that realm, everyone has already accepted it's a new gold. So you can price that in. And then I've seen a lot of pretty smart people say it's silly to think it's just gold. It's like silly to think Uber's just taxi. And the point, how you extrapolate that to crypto people, is anyone with this phone, which is, 5 billion people,
Yeah.
can buy $5 of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And they could buy $10.
But you could buy $5 of gold too. You could buy a gold ETF and have
But-
exposure to
But
gold.
now younger people would rather own
Yeah,
Bitcoin
yeah,
than
yeah.
gold.
Yeah. The one thing, and I have no idea if people, I think institutions are going to pile into Bitcoin. Does a young person want to own $100 of Bitcoin?
No, they want a meme coin.
Yeah, because they
They want WIF.
yeah
They want Pepe.
yeah
They want. There's Sneaky Cat is a big one. It's Lumen.
Yeah, there's a lot of good, but yeah, I've seen a lot of good stuff. Good. The memes are great.
I bought 3 meme coins in a really small amount just so I pay attention to
$100,
$1,000.
$1,000. Give me the real number. Don't be a pussy.
I can't. I don't want to talk.
$50, 10,000. Give me a number. Why are you such a pussy?
Because do you talk about your finances?
I'll tell you for what I bought. What do you want me to know? I own 1.5 Bitcoin.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
When are you selling?
Soon.
So you don't listen to anything I just said?
No, my view is different. I actually believe everything you said, but I'm a profit taker.
Yeah.
I will buy. Like, can I tell you the last 5-6 years, crypto paid a lot of my bills. I would buy ETH, I would buy Bitcoin, and
we're probably the only people that made money on NFTs.
I'm not even joking. I made like more than my annual salary on 3 occasions in the last 5 years just to pay bills.
Yeah.
Like I was like, fuck it. I sold all my Bitcoin just to pay bills. I sold all my ETH to pay bills. And July of 23, I bought Bitcoin at 23,000. I was sitting at home. It was 23,000.
Interesting. Because I remember January of 23, you said Bitcoin would be 12,000.
Yeah. And I bought 23. When I see it cheap, I buy. I'm a discount shopper. I will always buy discount. I saw it cheap and I bought and I held it. I actually owned more and I actually sold a lot along the way and just to get cash. But I'm a believer, but I'm also like comfortable taking a profit. And when it draws down, I'll buy more.
Yeah.
I'll buy back into it. I'm not like, I don't need to hold it for the purposes of proving anything. I want to make money. And I'm a believer.
I don't hold it to prove anything. I hold it because I think it's silly to sell. So if you look at,
because you don't need the money.
Of course I could use it.
Yeah, but you're not going to do anything differently if you sold a couple coins. You flip a couple coins.
Flip them.
Yeah, flip them to the ATM. You're not going to care.
But I will say, if you look at any chart, the supply and demand has inverted, meaning there's excess demand and a lot less supply.
Well, there's finite, which I like. That's the best thing about it.
Meaning that people don't want to sell at this rate.
No. Even me, who's a usual seller, I would have been gone.
You want my next Bitcoin prediction before a prediction?
Sure.
250K by June.
250K, you're dancing, doing the Trump dance. Because that's the only reason why that shit's saying 250K. Young man. I said, young man.
You'd have to throw me a touchdown, and that's a touchdown dance.
That's fine. I will. We'll go to the park. I'll throw you a touchdown, and you could do the dance. I mean, this is your greatest president for you. Everything you believe in, this guy believes. Well, here's the thing. I didn't want to talk about politics today, but the one thing, every time I listen to a podcast, listen to news, the biggest, and we can end on this, is I've said this, I think the day after the election, whenever we had that episode, whether you like it or not, some of the smartest people in the world are in government now. You have people that are so pro innovation and change, and you may not like the tact of the Doge and the Doge cast and how they're going about it. But though the Elon Vivek kind of experience that we're all seeing right now,
experiment, I would say,
is how young people get engaged. Transparency. Why is crypto popular? It's extremely transparent. It's one of the foundational reasons why crypto was born. It's like, I want to see everything. It's on the fucking blockchain. Doge is like, all right, the fucking Department of Fish and Farm is spending $1 million on parties. Okay, buck them. Gone. And I think we're going to look, the history books will look, whether they are successful or not, they are going to shift the mindset of how we should actually govern as a people. We all know, and I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, Libertarian, the government is so fat. The government needs Ozempic more than anyone else. They need to be gutted. Such waste has been happening. And then the fact, I'm not even like a big technology person, even though I'm in the technology industry, but I never liked that the US government did not embrace Elon Musk. I didn't like the US government does not embrace Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz and all of these like legends. These people changed the way we live. Travis Kalanick. Do you remember when Travis went to the Trump board? When the first couple months, you know, Trump had his economic forum, Travis Kalanick went.
I remember that.
And
yeah.
he was blackballed. He was looked at as an outcast. He was trying to work with the US government.
Yeah, now everyone knows you have to work with whoever's in power if you're a business person.
Yes. And but
you don't have a choice.
But I think the problem is that if you didn't align with some social beliefs, you weren't allowed to align yourself. And like what happens is then the most innovative, the Palmer Luckies, the Elon Musk, you forget what they actually believe, but they're brilliant. And it's now attracting such smart people to be involved with this. Like they're going to start like can you imagine US government was trying to shut down everything crypto related. More than likely, I saw there's going to be a Bitcoin reserve.
Then it's $1 million a coin.
Exactly. And who's going to do it? Not the Democrats. It's the Republicans. They're the party of innovation, which is crazy to think.
Well, it's all Democrats that moved over. That's the funny part, right?
Because they alienated him.
Democrat.
Joe Rogan.
Tulsi, Joe Rogan.
They pushed everyone away.
But everyone else.
For what? For some stupid social beliefs that no one actually believes in? That was the problem.
And they used media better. There's actually a great article. Dan Pfeiffer, he's one of the Pod Save America guys.
They're still around?
Yeah, I think they make a lot of money. And
just angry libs.
And he wrote a Substack that I read this morning, just talking about how owning that Democrats didn't use media properly. And he worked for Obama. He's one of his like strategists. And he's like, yeah, we fucked up. We thought CNN, Meet the Press, and 60 Minutes mattered, and it doesn't. And the Republicans found all these different avenues to get to people, and we didn't do it. And we need to rethink how we reach people, because if we don't, this is going to continue, because he obviously has very progressive Democratic values, and he wants to push the Democratic Party forward. And
he doesn't have any money. That's the problem.
No, I know
so he has no power.
But the point that he's even self-reflecting.
Yeah, he's a smart guy, but like, and I've read his stuff. He's a very smart guy, but like, they're so fucking arrogant. They're not going to change a thing.
I think they will now because they got smacked in the face.
I think they have to be beaten to death.
They got beat to death. They lost the Senate, House, and the
something
presidency.
has to be repealed that's so repulsive. Just be like, everyone gets to shoot person you don't like in the face, the gun. Then maybe they'll change something.
The thing that everyone on the Democratic side and whoever the next Democratic candidate's going to be, you have to go on Joe Rogan.
It's not just Joe Rogan. We don't want to hear your bullshit.
No, but the point is Trump spewed bullshit on Rogan. He doesn't push you if you're important.
Of course, and that's what I always said. I said that when you didn't believe he would go on Joe Rogan, I knew he would, and I knew he would not get pushed. You do not fuck with the presidential candidate of the United States.
Yeah, no,
any side, never.
Big mistake.
You do not, because it's like they are, whether you like their beliefs or not, they are gods.
But you know what the funny thing is? Like, people that are successful don't understand his importance. they don't realize how big Joe Rogan is.
Yeah, because you know why? You know what Joe Rogan likes to do on the weekends? Commentate on UFC. You know what really rich, smart people think? That's stupid. And it's the same thing. It's looking down on people.
No, and
This is the quintessential democratic strategy is we are the elite. We are the educated. We are better than everyone. We're going to look down on people. What's wrong with watching people fight or watch football or talk about UFC?
No, so the thing I always tell people, and now like people of means, all sauna and cold plunge. I was like, that's Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
He created that whole industry,
Yeah, movement.
the whole movement that this is really beneficial. It was him. And then Peter Attia started talking about it. Then Andrew Huberman started talking about
We're
it.
all on his podcast.
Yes, they were all on his podcast, and he created this whole tree. And those industries are massive because of him.
Yeah.
He created this whole wellness thing. Oh,
But he's not an intellectual elite.
agree.
And that's why he looks down.
I think that's what the problem is, where people are like, especially just successful people don't want to listen to him because they think he's just this buff idiot.
Yeah.
He's honestly brilliant.
Yeah.
I listen to him all the time.
Yeah.
And he has interesting conversations
And he's
with
MAGA.
people. Technically, but he also voted for Bernie.
Yeah, but he's the face of MAGA now. As far as America's concerned, if you look at like dumb reporters, they think the reason why Trump won is Joe Rogan.
They will credit him for part of it, yes.
Yes, and they.
But I'm telling you, as a listener of his podcast, and even our cousin who's very liberal, she's like, I'm glad you listen. She's like, you should.
Listen to what?
Rogan.
Yeah.
Because I mentioned something. She's like, oh, where'd you hear that? And I was like, Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, you listened to him. I was like, yeah. And she's like, oh, I'm glad you listen. I know you're liberal.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just the common arrogance of people like looking down at an opinion that's not theirs. And then it breaks your heart when you find out who the actual person who gives that opinion is. And
Yeah.
when you see it, it's like, what does Joe Rogan care about? He likes two things: UFC and comedy. That's his passion.
And health and wellness.
Okay, but like UFC and comedy is what he built his podcast on.
Yeah.
And that is not considered intellectually elite. It's just not.
I'm able, as a person of independent thinking, that I can disagree with him and still listen to him. I don't agree with him on the COVID vaccine. You may. But I can still listen to him and not get riled up.
Yeah. Most people can't. The reason why is maybe because you've been around people that are not intellectual elites. And most people in America are not around intellectual elites. But we know this. I think you posted something about Barack.
Oh yeah, we should actually end on that. That's a great one.
So you posted something about when you're at the table. I agree. These people.
So let's rewind. Barack Obama was on the Pivot podcast, which is Ryan Clark. He was a Steelers Super Bowl champion.
Wrong podcast to be on. Straight up. No one gives a fuck about that podcast.
It doesn't matter. I'm talking about the clip.
Yeah.
So Ryan Clark, it's actually a pretty big podcast. He's on First Take. He's on ESPN all day.
It's not Joe Rogan. He should have been on Joe Rogan.
He might be.
He
I've
needs
heard
to be.
rumors.
He needs to be on Rogan.
I think it might happen.
Yeah.
So anyways, Barack Obama's on this podcast with Ryan Clark, football player, Super Bowl. And he basically said he's trying to because their podcast has two athletes, and you could imagine who their audience is. Not Harvard elites, not people that went to Wharton, not people that went to Stanford. And he was trying to empower people, saying, I was at Harvard and I saw my peers and it was a bunch of fools. Then I went to the US Senate and I was like, oh, these guys aren't that smart. Then I became president and I saw who I'm dealing with. I was like, oh, they're not that smart. They're not all that. Then I went to the G7 and met with the biggest leaders in the world. And I saw a lot of people that are incompetent. And his point was, don't get intimidated by people with fancy titles and just believe if you actually do the work yourself, you can be at the table and not be intimidated. And I'll take this back to me personally, that I've mentioned this before years ago on the podcast when I went to Wall Street as a junior intern in investment banking. I was at USC. USC is an elite school now. It wasn't 20 years ago when we went. And everyone was from Harvard, Stanford, Wharton, Yale, Princeton, like you name your brand name school. And I was kind of like the outcast. And actually my roommate in training was from University of Colorado, who's now fucking killer at Founders Fund. And we both were like, oh man, we're like, don't belong in this environment. Yeah. And then we went to training and we all did the tests and stuff after, like, they put you through all these testing. And we scored very well. And we're like, oh, these kids aren't that smart. Why are we intimidated by them? Then we both went to investment banking the first year and we both were top tier and we outperformed everyone. And it's so easy to get intimidated. And then the second time this happened to me was when I started venture investing. When me and Anthony went up to Silicon Valley, we were like kind of looked at like clowns. They're like, who are these LA guys? Nas, rapper. Like, What the fuck are you guys doing here? And then we started meeting people. We're like, we're just as smart as these guys. We can do this. And we did it.
And that's what happened in politics. Donald Trump came around. Everyone said he's an idiot. And he proved it doesn't fucking matter. And I think...
No, it doesn't. Well, but we weren't idiots, though.
No. Neither is he. He's the president of the United States.
He's not the idiot. He's not an idiot.
So the problem, what comes down, the thing that I dislike the most is don't judge a book by its cover.
100%.
And I think in life, in America, we do it all day. Whether it's kids in school, professionals at work, politics, these people don't like you said it, Joe Rogan's buff and bald. He's a Nazi.
Not a Nazi, but you would stereotype him as not an intellectual.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's insane. Completely insane.
But if you think about what I'm into, you would never think I would be a Joe Rogan fan.
Yeah, you're a meathead.
Not a meathead.
You're a meathead. You like sports. What else do you care about? Do you care about anything else?
No, but he talks like a beekeeper. I'll listen to that episode.
I knew a couple of beekeepers.
You do?
Yeah. We have one in our office. Here's my point is that, like, I'm just saying, if you were to like go around the country or go around any 20 people and I just hand my background of what I've done in the last 20 years, they'd be like, there's no chance he listens to Joe Rogan. Yeah, because that's a Democratic problem. That's a Democratic Party problem, because everyone who is an elite looks and acts a certain way, and America's not like that. You go to the neighborhood coffee shop, the diner. No one's talking down to people. That's why I think the biggest opportunity for America is actually the intellectual elite does not look like it did 25 years ago, not 10 years ago. It's not some kid who went to an Ivy League school that knows everything. No, it's the people that like listen. The smartest people in the world listen, not talk. Listen. And to give Joe Rogan credit, because I don't even like the fucking podcast because it's horrible interviews in my opinion. He listens. He's an incredible listener. And that is what makes really smart people, not people that are lecturing people all day. And intellectuals like to tell people what to fucking do all the time.
Yeah. No, I think you're going to see a change because I sensed it from the Pod Save guys. They've done a lot of self-reflection because I went through all their Twitters.
I should be with them. I should kick their ass. I should have told them.
They're at the place we go to a lot all the time. Well, you could see them. I saw them.
Okay. Well, they should come up to me. I could have kicked their ass 6 months ago and got them into shape.
I saw the whole crew.
Yeah. All right. Well, they should see me because I know. They try to write me off. I didn't write back.
I think the Democratic Party will change. I have hope that
They're
they'll
too
change.
arrogant.
No, I think they got smacked in the face and they all know it. The numbers are there. The data's there. There's no denying where the country stands. Lost the House, lost the Senate, lost the presidency. You can't just act like a jackass anymore. You got to just change.
Yeah, you have to alienate people within the party to do that. They have to be willing to do that.
I think just my only reference point is them, because they kind of were the de facto, like they
Communication.
were like the Joe Rogan of the Democrats. They're a huge podcast.
But they were like lecturing people all day. I would listen once in a while.
They're
don't wanna
top
hear
5
that shit.
podcasts on Apple whenever they put out an episode. So they're massive. And they have done a lot of self-reflection. I've seen all their posts and clips. And I think if they're willing to do it, the upper echelon people will start.
When they embrace people with different, that don't look like them, like Antonio Brand was at Mar-a-Lago the night of the election. Everyone thinks he's a joke. Democratic Party would never embrace Antonio Brand.
He's a tough one, in my opinion.
But he was there.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But that's kind of Trump's vibe. Just bring the misfits in. I don't
That's
think
America's misfits.
But I don't think Dana White's a misfit. I don't think Joe Rogan's a misfit. I don't think Elon's a misfit. It's just people that don't agree with them.
Elon's a hated guy.
He's a hated guy, but Antonio Brown.
Antonio
It's
Brown's
off
one of the
the
greatest
reservation.
receivers of all times. Is he not one of the greatest receivers of all times?
He'll go to the Hall of Fame.
Okay. Hall of Fame. That is insane. Do you understand? Hall of Fame in NFL is like, you're it. You're at the peak of.
They may block him now, even though the NFL's MAGA.
Yeah. He's too powerful. CTE. CTESPN. All right, let's wrap it up. We got a couple shout outs. You want to read these? What do we got here? First one, Jen Wilson. I appreciate your loving advocacy for families and our special angels among us. As a public school teacher in Virginia with 4 classrooms for special needs and a class in every grade that mainstreams in my school, I'm a strong advocate for educational equity for every child. Keep fighting to give Mav what he has a right to have. It's equally important for all children to be exposed to differences for genuine acceptance of all. Thank you for that.
I actually want to read Mrs. Paff, Drama's mom. She texted me a nice message. She's in the education world. She's a teacher. And she said, we have special needs units at each of our 3 buildings. I just want to mention they are a valuable addition to our school in terms of things our other students are learning from, that they go beyond books and learn tolerance, acceptance, patience, vulnerability lessons, life lessons. Other schools are missing out. I hope you figure out how you can get Mav and all the other kids people that listen that are dealing with, various issues, education. So that we're making a difference one by one.
Exactly. Last one from Logan 5596. Bless you guys. This was incredible to listen to. Appreciate you sharing this for everyone. You are all so strong. Immediate donate now. Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. Thanksgiving week. We'll have an episode on Wednesday and then set you off into an incredible weekend. My only request, and I'll say this on Wednesday, just a reminder, when you get to Thanksgiving dinner, please ask everyone who they voted for. All right. See you later.